Hey, I'm 29 years old, Niko Gulf. I have saved 680,000 Kenyan shillings since I came this place. And I'm really in need of investing this money back at home. And guess what? It will not be only of help to me, but it also create an employment, even if it's a single person back at my home. But this is the challenge that I'm facing. I do not have anybody whom I can trust, be it a family member or a friend. What can I do exactly? That is a kind of a text that I do receive, or I received from a guy who is passionate about investing at 29 years old, and he doesn't know what to do exactly. And he knows very well, money resting in a bank, it actually doesn't mean anything. After all, inflation is out there and is eating this money heavily. So what exactly can this guy do? Guess what? This is quite a popular problem that is facing majority of the Kenyans who are working outside this country. They are trying as much as they can in these Gulf countries to make sure that they try to make the ends meet. And this is not only a reflection of Gulf countries only, even the UK, US, and what have you, all those places. But these guys are kind of confused. They do have the capital that is required or needed to start an investment or maybe start a business. But the problem or the challenge that they're facing back at home is that the kind of family members that they have back at home, they're either liars or they deceive them, or actually they are not trustable. Meaning that at the end of the day, these guys, you can send them money, you tell them, hey, I want to get myself into the real estate. And then you be sending the money and they send you photos of a not so good house, or even not even your house at all. And then once you come back home, you realize that it's no money. Guess what, guys? I do have a real example that I can show you of an individual who was sending money back at home. And when that individual came back home, I don't want to use the gender, okay? So when that guy came back home, or that individual came back home, there was nothing in the investments. You can just imagine that. All that period of time that you've been in those countries, nothing to show up. You can just imagine. And this is quite a popular problem. Now, today I'm coming with a solution and telling you exactly what you can be able to do. If you're watching this video outside this country, or maybe you're watching this video as a police officer, or maybe you're watching this video as a soldier, because also these guys usually face the same problem. You have the investment, or rather you have the money to invest, you have the cash with you, you have the savings. But guess what? All the time, maybe you're outside the country, you are on a mission, but you do not know how to start or invest your cash. Now, this is your video who you out there. All right. Now, what exactly can you be able to do so that you invest your money and at least grow something at the end of the day? So, number one that you're supposed to understand is that right now where you actually have what we call the limited, you have limited options. What do I mean? Like, hey, guess what? If you have money, all right, and you are at home, it means you have more options. But when you are out there and you have money, but you are not at home, obviously you're limited in terms of options. Because now when you're actually not home and you're at this particular state, then it means that you need to incorporate something that is called trust. And let me tell you one thing, guys. If there is something horrible and worse that you can ever have in life, as far as the business and investment is concerned, is the use of this word. Never, ever, ever in your life engage this word whenever you want to transact or when you're using anything to do with business. No matter whom you're dealing with, whether it's your partner, your family member, or whatever, never use this word. Instead of using the word trust, oh, I trust him or her, that's why I'm going to start an investment, he or she going to be looking forward or after that business. No, never use this word trust. It's better incorporate a certain good word that I use called due diligence. Due diligence, all right? Due diligence simply means that, hey, there are some of the sign, even if it means you guys signing some documentations and what have you, it rather have what we call the due diligence rather than incorporating trust. Because at the end of the day, this 5-letter word is quite horrible when it comes to investments. You can start an investment and then at the end of the day, you get discouraged. So now what do? I've said when you're back at home, you have money and you are at home, then you have more options. But when you're outside, you usually have limited options. You have money, you do have yourself some money, but you're not at home. Then it means you have limited options. Now, what do? Number one, I always tell you one thing. There are two things, or there are two areas where you can put your money. And one thing where you can put your money is what I call the businesses. There's something called businesses, all right? Businesses in this matter or regard, they have what we call high risk. They usually have high risk. And guess what they have in return? They usually have what? High returns. They usually have high returns. Okay, and these high returns usually comes with a price tag. And this price tag that comes with high returns, it means that you have to be engaged. You have to be engaged. You have to be engaged, meaning you have to be there physically, okay? Physically, you have to be there. Mentally, even in terms of time, you have to be present there. You have to really do something as far as these businesses are concerned. You have to show up early in the morning, close the business later the evening. And that particular point, we say simply what you're doing what? You're working for money. That's simple. You're working for money. I mean, you can't make money if you're not present in that specific place. What do I mean? Like, for example, let's take a very simple example. You're out there and you go and start, let's say, boutique business, or maybe let's say you go out there and you start a hardware business, or maybe you start a cereal business. Then it means that you have to be there present, talking to the customers, offering good services and what have you. You must be there making sure that, hey, the stock is coming, you're taking the stock sheet and all those kind of things, meaning you're actively engaged in that specific business. So when we say businesses, they have high risk and they have high return. So anything that has high risk, obviously, what does it mean? If it has high risk and it has high returns, obviously, I know we love high returns, but the point is this: if it has high risk, guess what it needs? It needs your attention. It needs your attention, and of which it needs total maximum monitoring of that specific business, and also having what we call the balance sheet. You can be able to monitor the business, and you're the only person who can actually offer the best services from your business. That's for a fact. Remember, you're the dreamer of that given business. Now, that is businesses. Option 2, you can actually go ahead and invest, is what we call investments. All right, investments. Investments are quite different compared to businesses, and this is where people tend to make they get confused, because when you talk about investments, they have what we call low risks. All right, and they usually have what in return? They have low returns. Okay, and meaning in this point is that money works for you. Money works for you. All right, money works for you. At that particular state, it means that you really don't need to be engaged. For example, if you go out there and buy yourself stocks, let's say you go out there and buy yourself some stocks, or shares as you call them, then it means you have to do nothing. For example, you can do shares or stocks, right? So it means that you have to do nothing about that specific investments. If you give money if you give money to that given company has all the management skill, or rather has all the what we call it, that management structure, and everything is in place, and there's marketing people, what have you, technical guys, IT, and what have you. All what you need is you give them money, they work for your money, and then at the end of the year they give you what we call dividends. In this particular case, with regard, they give you dividends. All right, dividends, meaning that profit that they have made at the end of the year, they can do so 2 times per year. We call them the interim dividends, and we have the end of the year dividends. So at that particular point, it means that they have low risk and low returns, and it means that you really don't need to engage yourself out there. Now, this is where the question now comes in. You have your 680,000. Let's say maybe you do not have any plans of coming back home, because actually you're getting a good gigs or good deal out there. But you want to be in a state whereby the 680 Gs is working for you, and also you still have what we call the consistency income. Maybe let's say you're looking forward to coming back home, maybe let's say after 2 years. So this is what I would like you to do, and this will be the most amazing thing. And now I'm starting to answer the question that you've been waiting. First of all, create a diversified portfolio. Create a what? A diversified portfolio. All right, portfolio. Right? So you create a what? A diversified portfolio. Number one, you need to have at least, you need to have at least 3 investments. 3 investments area, all right? And 2, you need to have what? A liquid cash. You need to have a liquid cash that you've kept it in liquid form. All right. This is money that you can access anytime. And the C, you need to have what we call emergency fund. All right. So what does it mean? For example, you can decide one thing. So a diversified portfolio, it means at least you have 3 investments area. Don't put all this money in one area. For example, there's some areas where you can put your money. Okay, number 1, you can put your money into A. You can put your money into money market fund, MMF. You can put your money into money market fund, all right? And when I talk about money market fund, it's not a must that you can take one company. You can take 2, okay? You take one that maybe is giving you 8% of whatever you have invested, and you pick maybe another one that is giving you maybe, let's say, 9%. All right, you give another make that's giving you 9%. So the good thing with money market fund is that this money you can actually withdraw anytime you want. And again, the profit accumulates each and every day. You can see that actually compounding each and every day. So cumulatively in a period of 1 year, that's why we buy, you get 8% total interest. But you actually see that interest accumulating each and every day. All right, you can get yourself, you can pick one money market fund and you can pick another money market fund. Now you have two money market fund. The other remaining amount of money, you can get something like treasury bills. All right, if you don't want to go for a longer period, you can do T-bills. All right, T-bills, this minimum you need, it's 100,000. And guess what, all what I'm talking about, you can be able to do so online, because hey, I know you're not present here in Kenya, you're not present at home, and you want to invest. If you pick a money market fund, is giving you 8%, and maybe let's say out of the 680,000, you decide this is how I prefer you divide your money. I prefer you say out of the 680,000, you may decide, hey, 250k, all right, keep it in liquid cash. Keep it in liquid cash. Something happens. This is life. You see, this is life. Keep it in liquid cash. The other one, you can decide, now what's remaining there, it's around like 430,000. You can decide like 200,000, you keep it in what? In T-bills, right? In treasury bills. You're remaining with 230,000. 230,000, you may decide to say, hey, 130,000, you keep it towards what? One money market fund, all right? Let's say X money market fund, X MMF, that is giving you 8%. All right, and then the other one, you can decide to pick another money market fund. You say you keep that 100,000 to that money market fund. Let's say Y MMF, that is giving you 9%. Now, guess what happens if this T-bills gives you, let's say at around 12%. This T-bill gives you, let's say at around 12% after the deduction of the tax, because you have to pay tax. All right, now out of the 200k, you have the 12% of it at the end of the year. All right. The reason why I did pick the T-bills is because the maximum period of time you can invest is actually 1 year. And you can pick a T-bill that goes for at least, 3 months. That is 91 days to be specific. 91 days. You can pick a T-bill that goes for 184 days. You can pick a T-bill that goes for 364 days. So it depends. So this is like 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year. Right. So the point is, out of the 200, you're getting the 12%. All right. Out of the 130,000, you're getting yourself 8%. Out of the 100k, you're getting yourself what? 9%. Guess what you have done? You've actually have yourself like 3 investment portfolio. You have what we call the liquid cash. And by the way, you may decide at the end of the year, or you may decide at the end of the month, be channeling another amount of money towards what we call stock shares, because shares are quite an amazing way. They're not actually a short-term way of investment, but you can decide, hey, you can decide out of this 250,000, you can decide to keep liquid money at 200,000. You take the 50,000, you take the 50k. This 50k, you put it towards what? Stocks or shares. Again, it's not a must that you pick one company. You can pick 2 companies, all right? You can pick 2 companies and divide that amount of money, or you can pick that one good company that you have actually done the investigation and realize it can actually give you good returns. Now, guess what you've just done? You've actually gone ahead and created another investment. But this one, look at it as a what? As a long-term investment. Look at it as a what? A long-term investment. At that particular point, guess what you've done? You've actually captured what we call the long-term investment. This one, when you invest it, don't even look at it like for the next year, 2 years. No, just keep it out there. Just keep it out there. All right. The other one about the money market fund and what have you. Remember, this is a money that you can withdraw any time. About the T-bills and T-bonds, you can T-bills, to be specific, you can actually withdraw your money or get the face value. That's what we call it at the end of the year. You have another money market fund. Guess what you've actually done yourself? You have 200 cash at your disposal. The money on the MMF, you can as well get it. The T-bills, you are also getting the interest rate, and also you have what we call the long-term investment. Guess what? All this what I've talked about, you do not need anybody to bother and tell them, hey, do this for me, do that for me, I need to trust body. You don't need to do that. Guess what? Once you're back home, let's say after 2 years, all this cash, you can actually access it. All this cash, you can actually access that amount of money. Whatever is on the TBs, whatever is on the MMF, whatever is another MMF, even this one, even if you want to liquidate your stocks, you can actually do so. But this one, I said, hey, don't liquidate this one. This one, let it be there for the purposes of what? The long-term investment. So when you come back home, you can actually decide, you can take like 400K, start a business whereby you'll be showing up each and every day, for the purposes of being active, and then leave the rest for the purposes of investment. Guess what you've done? You've actually solved the problem of actually trusting somebody back at home and investing. Guess what? That's the end of my video. And guess what? It's not the end of me posting a video each and every day. All what you need to do so that you don't miss any future good videos of wine. I always post a video each and every day. Do this. It doesn't cost you anything, by the way. It is free. When I say subscribe, does not mean that you have to pay anything. No, it's free. Down below there on your right, there is like a small button written subscribe. It is in black. Hit that magical button, turn that notification bell, and as well, comment down below, tell me what you think. And by the way, by only doing that, I like this video, by only doing that, YouTube will notify you whenever I upload a new good video. For now, it's a goodbye. But don't forget, my number is on the description of this specific video. If you're out there and you really need a personal guidance at a personal level, I offer those services at a coffee's price. Grab that number of mine from the description of this video and give me a call or a text me. For now, it's a goodbye. See you there.